for years, I have been going out there and trying to figure out how to invest my money and be able to scale it up. I've always had the dream of becoming financially independent, but I didn't know exactly where to go. So I tried a little bit of stock market, I tried a little bit of bonds. I went in, followed all of the gurus, and I lost all of my money when the market crashed in 2008. That was a wake-up call for me, and that's the time where I decided I have to change the vehicle of what I'm investing in. I decided that I needed to get into physical real estate. You see, by that point, I was investing in REITs and ETFs that were following real estate, thinking I was an investor, thinking I was in real estate. At the time, I also thought about going in and becoming a realtor, hoping that that is how I'm going to make my money. That didn't happen for me for many multiplications, but I am now grateful that it never happened to me. I went out there, figured out how to invest in real estate, and started the way that most of us have started if you've ever invested in real estate, and that is you go out, you find a realtor, they show you a few properties, you drive around, you apply for all of the loans, you get approved, you go out, you put an offer, hopefully it gets accepted. If it doesn't get accepted, you sort of increase it, you keep going out there. Eventually you go out and you find your place, buy it at the market price, whatever that market price was. Then you go out and figure out if you can flip it, if you can rent it, or how else you're going to make money. Yes? All right? We've all done it. That is my process. That's how I started. Now, I was lucky because I started in 2010 to do that stuff. And at that time, many of the properties out there were foreclosures, meaning I wasn't paying. I was paying the market price, the asking price of the bank, but it wasn't the true market value of the property. So I was able to get into a property that is worth well over $100,000 for about $60,000, and I could get in for about $4,000 that I actually borrowed from my mom. It turned out to be a gift at the end of the day. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate that. But that is how I got in. I did one deal that way. The second deal I actually financed all on credit cards, if you can believe it. I bought out with the credit cards, bought it out cash, rented it out, and that is how I started in real estate. Eventually, I ran out of money, and the market prices kept going up, and the faster they were going up, the more nervous I was getting because I didn't have as much money. I started to figure out and learn what else can I do, how else can I get into real estate, and have discovered this amazing thing called tax sales. Now, tax sales are awesome because here is what ends up happening. Let me explain this. You have this property, right? And let's say the property is $100,000. Okay, that's what the assessed value is. But the taxes typically are anywhere between 1 to 5% in a really expensive market. It might range a little bit different, but that is kind of roughly what we're talking about, right? So that is what the taxes are. Now, here's what ends up happening. Say that there's an owner who decides that for whatever reason, she cannot afford to pay those taxes. This accumulates. So 1% of $100,000 is going to be $1,000. So she can't afford to pay the $1,000 for whatever reason. Maybe she can't afford it. Maybe she doesn't want to pay because she doesn't see value. Maybe she moved on. Maybe she passed. I don't know what the reason is. But eventually, there's going to be the county, okay, that says, no more, we want our money. Because counties need money in order to be able to sustain their way of life, right? They need money to be able to build roads, to support schools, to whatever, right? All these different things. So what does county do? They take in and they foreclose on this property, okay? Now it doesn't belong to this person anymore. Now it belongs to the county. But the county doesn't want the property. I mean, what are they going to do with the property? They don't need that. They need money. So now they create an auction and say, you know what? We're going to sell this property. We know that its assessed value is $1,000. We know what the taxes are. And it hasn't been paid for, say, 5 years. Okay? Now, that means that there's $5,000 in this property that is being owed to the county. Maybe there's some taxes and fees and the delinquent stuff. And so let's say that it's $5,125. The county is going to go out and they're going to take this property, list it for sale, and they're going to list it for $5,125. Okay? They're going to give you some of the information, of like, here's what the property is all about, that you can actually read. and then you can go out and purchase this property for the amount of money. Now, if the auction is very, very busy, right, this may cost you, I don't know, $10,000 or $20,000, and you're going to be able to buy it. If it's not very busy, you might be able to get this property for the minimum that the county is asking. I don't know what is going to happen because none of us can predict that. But one thing is for certain. Now I can go out and buy a property that is assessed at $100,000 for say $10,000 or $20,000. That's a 80 to 90% discount. That is huge. I have paid only, let's say, $20,000 for a property that is valued at $100,000 in assessed value. Now, if you know anything about assessed value, you also will understand that the market value is way higher than the assessed value. Now, we're going to go out there, we're going to research, we're going to find out exactly what that is, and you might find that maybe this property is actually valued at $375,000. Now, paying $20,000 for a property valued at $375,000, I mean, that's a steal. That's like going out to buy a t-shirt that typically costs, like, say, $20 for like 50 cents, right? Like, that is the difference. But it's just because they're bigger numbers, sometimes we get scared and we sort of like, I don't know if I want to do that. Why would I do it? So don't get scared, right? Yes, there's risk involved with it. We don't know what the property looks like on the inside. You might need to put in another, I don't know, $10,000 or $20,000 to bring it up to this market value. Or you could just list it as is, sell it at an assessed value or even below assessed value to a flipper, for example. You can build a relationship with them and say that now I own this property. Say that I was the one that bought it for $20,000. I own it and I want to make a quick sale. I'm going to sell it for $50,000. I'm going to go out, find a flipper who's going to be crazy excited about being able to buy this, because not only are they buying below the market or the assessed value, but it's way below market value, right? So now if they're able to go in and buy it for $50,000, they put in another $50,000, they are $100,000 in, but they're able to sell it for $375,000. That means that they make 3 times, almost 4 times of what they have invested in this property. For you, if you buy it for $20,000 and you flip it for, say, $50,000, you have doubled, more than doubled, 2.5 times your money. That is a great return. And then what you can do is you can just go out, rinse and repeat. And that is what is super exciting and powerful about going out there and finding properties that are located on tax sale. Now, if this is of interest to you, if you're saying like, this makes total sense to me, Nav. Like, why did nobody ever tell me about this stuff? And you want to know how to locate these properties, how to research these properties, where to find them, what are the things that you need to look for? Because not every property that the county takes control over and puts on sale is a good property or a good deal, right? And you want to protect yourself because you don't want to spend $20,000 on something that is valued $2,000 and you can never sell or build or do anything with, right? Like, who would want to do that? You might as well throw that money, burn it, or throw a big party. At least you'll have a great time. So you want to protect that stuff. If you're wanting to learn how to do all of that, I invite you to join me for Real Estate on the Cheap Challenge. Inside the challenge, I teach you exactly how this works, how to invest, what to look for, what I have done, and a host of other things to protect you and your wealth. If this is of interest to you, please do check out realestateonthecheapchallenge.com. And for only $50, right now it's $50, it is slated to go up to $75 and then to $100. So don't wait, don't hesitate. Go and check it out now because the price will continue to rise. It will not drop, it will continue to rise. And the longer you wait, the more expensive it's going to get. Inside of it, you'll find all kinds of cool bonuses and gifts and everything that I'm doing, for all the way from videos to book downloads to audios. And on top of that, you get to become an affiliate if you want to, be able to tell other people about it, and eventually or potentially make this completely free or profitable for yourself. I'm super excited about this stuff. I hope you are as well. Until next time, stay forever money blessed. And do remember, you are only one deal away.